fam, and welcome to day 2 of my end of the year series where I am making bookish content to wrap up 2020 and to say hello to 2021. In this video, I'm going to be doing something fun, which is basically the best of my book hauls, which is I don't really put up too many book haul videos. I put up one because I was unpacking my bag when I was coming back from Delhi after staying there for 6 weeks and visiting a lot of my favorite independent bookstores. So I will link that up and down for you to watch. There are a lot of books in that. But I thought I would do a best of like books which basically I was the most excited to receive or just have like some meaning behind them. So yeah, I think I have a few which I want to talk about, and let's get to it. All right, so the first one is this copy of The Tin Man. Honestly, I made this entire video idea just to show this book off because I love The Tin Man as a book. I read it in like I think 2018 or something like that. Goddamn fucking bell and all. Okay, so the irony of the situation is that I was filming a video for my book hauls and I got a book while like the bell rang and the book came, and I have no idea who's given this to me. So this is like a mystery that we are going to have to solve together because I checked the bill and like I don't know if you can see, like, can you even read this? It's ridiculous. Like I can't read this. So I have no idea who sent this to me. I think it says something to do with human appreciates books. So I have no idea. We will find out. I have messaged a few of my friends who I think could have been the ones, but we will find out. But anyway, yeah. Okay, moving on. We were talking about Tin Man, which I spent a lot of money to buy because I saw this, like I saw someone else talking about this book, and I read this way back in 2018, as I think I was saying, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I thought that this was a fantastic book, and I just had to have this copy because it's gorgeous, and there's like a reason behind these this painting. So yeah, I had to have it. I bought it. It was really expensive, and this is literally the entire reason why I made this video. So yeah. The next book is this one, which is Daste Hazar Din, which translates to A Journey of 1,000 Days, and it is by Charanjit Lal Saigal, or Saigal uncle, who is essentially my grand uncle, like my grandfather's, like, you know. So he wrote this book, and I didn't know that he wrote this book, and he is basically, this is about his journey traveling from Pakistan to India during the 1947 partition, and it apparently took him 1,000 days to come from Pakistan occupied Kashmir to Jammu, and then he was in a refugee camp there, which is where he met my grandmother, like my grandmother's elder sister, and that's how they fell in love and they got married. But yeah, he wrote this book, and I want to read it because he's no longer with us, but I really liked him as a person. He was really cool, and I just feel like reading this would kind of connect me to him. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, and it is in Shuddh Hindi though, so I'm a little scared, but I'm hoping that maybe I will read this with my mum, who has a better handle on Hindi as a language, and yeah, that's this one. I was just very excited to have this one. The next book that I got was The Mercies by Kiran Millward Hargrave. This one I was really excited to get because it was my first book that I got post lockdown. So when essentially the lockdown started in April, I think, all like delivery, Amazon, Flipkart, everything was shut. There were no bookstores that were available because they weren't labeled as essential services, so you couldn't buy books at all except for like Kindle books, and that happened for a few months, and I was very just anxious. I just wanted to buy books, and this was the first one that came post that. So the happiness that this book gave me is like unparalleled, which I still haven't read this one, which is an idiotic thing, but it is part of my 5-star predictions. So I've actually made an entire video about 10 books that I think are going to be like 5-star books for me, and I will link that up and down for you because it's cool. Yeah, but this one follows I think like a true story of Norway in 1617, where there was a storm that happened and essentially the entire male population of that island died because they were like fishermen and stuff like that, and then it was only women in the entire island. And then they're like just a bunch of stuff happens with, I think, witchcraft. People think that they're witches, and like, oh, we can't let women stay on their own, and like, I don't know what happens. I haven't read the book, so I wouldn't know, but I was very excited when this one came to me because I was like, a book in my hands, oh my god. The next book I have spoken about at least 40 million times, and that is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This book, okay, so I didn't read this book as soon as it came out, even though I wanted to read it because it was just so expensive. Like, it wasn't available in India, and if I had to import it, for it to come here, it was just super expensive. But then I ultimately caved and I listened to it on Audible, and I also read it on my Kindle, like at the same point of time. And then I was like, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I should have just got it. So the bookshop Jorbug got this book from me, which was much cheaper than like if I had to export it and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I bought it. I'm very happy that I bought it, but I was very happy when I got this in my hand. But this book essentially is a memoir of Chanel Miller, who was Emily Doe in the Brock Turner rape case, which was a very publicized case in the US. And it basically follows her experience as well as like just the way that she felt and what happened with her life post that, in terms of like dealing with the legalities and just like the way her family felt, and just like it's a searingly beautiful written book. I mean, like Emily Doe or Chanel Miller was just her writing sublime. So yeah, this one. The next book was also another book that I really wanted but wasn't really available in India, and then as soon as it was, I bought it immediately, and that is Dancing at the Pity Party by Tyler Feder. It is a graphic memoir, like a graphic novel memoir, and it follows basically Tyler Feder's grief at losing her mum. And yeah, I just the concept just called to me. I think having lost a father, I just really look for books that could also speak my experience. So I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to read this. I haven't read this yet because I am scared that I will just like sob my ass off, but I hope to read this super soon, and I was just the most excited when this came into my hands. The next few books actually is I'm just gonna count as one, and that is that in the before I turned 30, I decided to read a bunch of classics, and one of them was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I fell in love with her writing. Like, I was just like, wow, this lady can really write. Like, her witticisms and just the way she wrote was really great, and I was just like, okay, I need to read all of her other works. So I bought these, and they're such beautiful additions. They just look so pretty on my shelf. But this is Sense and Sensibility, Emma, Mansfield Park, and Persuasion, and I hope to actually read them all in 2021. There is actually going to be a read along with some of my booktube friends, and I will link them below, like the whole thing. So I think you should join as well if you wanna participate, because it's gonna be a fun time. And they look so nice. The next is also two very pretty books of a very pretty vintage classics edition, and that is basically I read A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf, and I fell in love. I was just like, holy shit, this thing is amazing. I will link you to My Battery is Low. shit. I will link you to the vlog that I gush about this book. So do check that out. And then after that, I bought Mrs. Dalloway of the same edition because it was so pretty, and I was like, yeah, this one. I'm sorry if the angle has changed again, but I had to charge my camera. So yeah. Anyway, let us move on to the next set of books again, because essentially in 2020, I read this book called A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I had read previous books by Vikram Seth before, which were The Golden Gate and Nikul Music, and I absolutely loved them. And then I was like, why am I not reading more of Vikram Seth? So I basically just called up like Blossom, which is this amazing independent bookstore in Bangalore, and I was like, whatever other Vikram Seth books you have, just send them my way. And they did, and I have a bunch of them, which is here. So these are his poetry collections. Wait, I'm just gonna. How do I do this? This is why I don't do book hauls. All right, so these are a few of them. So there are poetry collections, and then there's one non-fiction book which is about his travels through like Tibet. So I got these. So I plan to read these, even though I don't really like poetry as much. Which, funnily, I have spoken about in my anti-TBR tag. I made this one. Yeah, it was a fun time. I was drinking while I was talking about them, so that was cool. I also got this other Vikram Seth book called Two Lives from Delhi. So there's another one of these, but I was just very excited to have these books because I was like, I love Vikram Seth. I just want to read everything you write. The next book that I want to talk to you about is Radio Silence. So I was gifted this by Books and Key. Key is a booktuber as well, and she is just really awesome. And when I was in Delhi, she was actually like the only person who I met apart from my immediate family. So yeah, so she gave me this book, and I've already read it. And thank you, Key. It just meant a lot to me because I got to see her and like her wonderful children, and yeah. So this one, another one that I have been gifted. Okay, all of these other books are just books that I've been gifted. Okay, and that is Love After Love by Ingrid Persuad. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. But this was gifted to me by Vivek. He is so sweet. He had 2 copies and he said like he knew that I wanted to read this. So he gave it to me, and this is a book set in the Caribbean. Yes, I would like my face was just like, I don't know. And I have no idea what this book is about. I don't want to know what this book is about. I just want to go into this blind. So I will not even tell you. But I will link the Goodreads or the description or something down below for you to check out. So that you can see what this book is about if you want to know what it's about, because I am of no help when it comes to this. Alright? Cool. Another book that I recently was gifted was this one, which is Stylus C by Ellen Morgenstern, and this is just such a beautiful copy. And Kathy, who is just the nicest human being ever, gave this to me. And look at the insides; it's just so pretty. And look, the thing, and then look, it's just so gorgeous. Ooh, ow. So yeah, I was gifted this, and it is I again have no idea. I just know that there is something to do with a library, I think, and like a secret society, I think, and I have no idea. Again, as I've said, I like to go into books blind, so I've heard lots about this. The Stylus C is the same author who wrote The Night Circus, which is another book that I have not read, but again heard great things about. So I'm excited to read this, and this is just so gorgeous. So I was very excited to have this in my hands. And then the next book that I want to talk about is this one, which is Delayed Rays of a Star by Amanda Lee Co. And this is a book that I just got yesterday, and this was gifted to me by Manya. The reason why I'm showing you the books that I've been gifted is because people don't really give me books. Okay, I don't know why. Like, even on my birthday, I think they just kind of see that I have a lot of books and then just like, what are we gonna give her? um so they just don't give me books. But yeah, like, even for my birthday, I think I got like two. I don't know. But yeah, this one is about, I'm not too sure, but it's something about a photographer, the 1920s. Something, again, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't like to know things before I get into a book. But I will link it down below for you. Yeah. And then I got Jade City by Fonda Lee. This one I got from Bhari Sons. They very sweetly like procured this book for me. And Mithilesh, who is a person who works at Bhari Sons, which is an independent bookstore in Delhi, was so sweet, and he procured it for me, and like, just so nice. I went and got it. Like, I went to the bookstore to get it then, when I was in Delhi, and he wasn't there because it was his one day off. But anyway, I'm just eternally grateful to Bhari Sons for just being so nice and sweet, and gifting, and not gifting me, but like procuring books for me. And then the last two are books that I got from the bookshop Jorbug, who are again one of my favorite independent bookstores, again based in Delhi. And I got these two, which is one, both are books by Carmen Maria Machado, and both are books that I need to read. Oh wow, I like the Indian flag because I'm white. I mean, whitish. You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, this is In the Dream House, which is her memoir, and this is a collection of short stories called Her Body and Other Parties. And yeah, these two books again weren't really available in like India, and then they made sure that they came to India. So very, very excited about reading both of these two, which I still haven't, even though I was very excited to get them. So yep. Okay, so I have the entire book thing here, and I'm gonna show it to you, but towards the end. So meanwhile, I would like you to comment down below and tell me a book that you received this year that you are were just super excited about. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, then just like it and subscribe and stuff like that. I don't know how to end this, but now I'm gonna try to show you all the books. Okay, are you ready for this? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, are they there? I don't even know. I can't see.